All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Abe, wow. Good morning, Abe. How are you? Becca, good morning. Safe, good morning. Michael, good morning. YouTube, good morning. All right, guys, let's get going here. We have a 70 NT Rinko Captain set up short that the market is putting on. And we're starting to push lower very quickly. There is a potential that if we go below 791, we're gonna get a captain set up short on the um, 200 NT Rinko, which is a big, big deal. Quick expansion right off the bat in the morning at the open. And you're looking at the 50 NT Rinko, you're seeing double captain setup with the switch trade. So all these structures are very, very short. Good morning, Marty. Good morning. Hitting harmony zone number 2, which is support. So the market is trying to line itself up for Richard. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. So what are we getting here out of this market right now? We're getting um, a lot of sideways consolidation, a little bit of a push early on, and now the market just spending its time right here. We hit harmony zone number 1, which is support, coming back to harmony zone number 2. If we start trading anything over 50, then this market is going to be heading toward the swing trade target of 890. And breaking anything like right now 815, the big number is going to be 789. If we break 789, that's a big deal, and that's going to lead to selling pressure on a swing trade basis for the reason of a captain set up short on the 200 into Rinko. So actually, 790, that's what the number is. that would be a captain setup short. So if you see a captain setup, I mean, that's one of them right here. That's one that failed. That's another one that failed, but that's a one that paid, another big one that paid, one that paid, big one that failed and paid. Even when they fail, they pay you in the failure. So just that's the number that we are looking for, is that 790. We're in the middle of the neutral zone, and that's an area of consolidation and, call it what it is, fakery, traps. So really, we don't want to be involved in here. I mean, there's the first touch bases of harmony zone number 2 trades, and then the confirmation of it. You're getting a little bit of that counter trending behavior. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Market is back in sync. So the 200 NT Rinko captain setup short is pausing. So we're getting a mixed market. Like if you're seeing here, this is a 70 NT Rinko. You're getting a captain setup short. The market, here we go. That's a confirmation of the resistance that we had up here. And especially with a wick that looks like this, now any short has, the market got back out of sync. Any short has a stop of 46. You almost have to break that 810 in order for the price to start really getting short. And it's early on in the day, so patience is a good thing. Switch trade. If we're looking at the opening range, we're getting an inside day, right? So far. And you're getting this zone, which is the mids, and that zone is protecting price action. It's, trading above 855 will lead to expansion to the high of the opening range, continuing to trade under it, and especially if we break 15 and 10, it will lead to a flush that's going to take us to the lows of that opening range, and then we can see what the market has to offer us. But where we at, it's the market is trying to build stops so they can take them out. It's a no trade zone for us right now. Jack, good morning. Good morning, Jack. How are you? Let's get it. So far, a whole lot of nothing going on, right? But eventually, after this rotation, they're gonna have to take it somewhere, right? Captain set up long on the 100, so that changes things around. That changes things around. Target is 890. So the short rotations are getting rolled over here. So in 3 minutes, watch out for the ORB traders coming in, and we want to see if they're failing or succeeding in a rotation, because that will give us a lot of clues to what kind of market we're having. So if the ORB traders come in at that 15 and they expand the market higher and they hold it, then you know that we're gonna get a bit of a trending behavior. If we just kind of come up to that range and start failing, then that will set us up for some shorts. A lot of traders trade that ORB, and I really think that the better strategy is to trade the failure of it versus trying to trade the breakout of a range. We'll see. All right. So the high of the ORB is Globox, and the bottom of it is 808. Good morning, Mike. Good morning. Here we go. That's the failure right there of the ORB. 63. If we get to 63, we're going to start flushing. So let's take a look at it here. That's the ORB range that most people use. So we hit that level and it closed here. So the market pulled back multiple times. So if we close anything under 64 and a quarter, the odds are we're gonna start going to the 48 and then go to 807. So it's gonna all depend on how this candle actually closes. But they're definitely challenging that narrative. Here you go. You're seeing it again here. That's a rejection. That's another rejection. And that candle closed. So anybody that was buying into an ORB expansion is getting rolled over right now. So if that candle holds, the next candle is going to close at 54, then the one after that 47. Then we'll see what kind of momentum we get on the downside. So we're getting a lot of mixed messages in the market, but a bit of pressure up here against Globax. You need to start seeing a break under 53. Looking at the top of that range, we see this is the opening range, and we're getting uh, tests and retest of the actual mids, and so far they're holding. So you're getting distribution up here against 900 and accumulation right against the mids. Plus you got the captain set up long on the 100 NT Rinko, which is a big deal. So we have a swing trade target of 915. Here we go, another rejection here against that captain. Captain set up short right here at 880. Not a smooth market as far as price action so far. A lot of back and forth on a Monday morning, accumulation distribution patterns, a lot of trapping behavior. So giving it a little bit of time is the right thing to do. Here we go. Captain set up switch trade. Where's safe? That's your baby right here. Man, look at that. We needed to jump on that one actually. Market is out of sync. That's another rejection of the ORB trade. So you see that? That's the high end of it. Rejection here. So everybody that is playing the breakout of ORB bought into this 90 into the 95, and then they're seeing this pullback. Then they got another hope of it working, and then got sold off. So that tells you right here that type of a trader is getting trapped. Now the key is, will we hold above 90 and go? I mean, that's a 40 point range, right? Most people stops got hit. Now if you start breaking anything over 881, that means they're coming again at that level. It's definitely a choppy market. I mean, this kind of environment is good for fading that top end 90 on a one candle, and also reversals against harmony zone number 1 support. Here we go. We're in the middle of the ORB range, so we're gonna watch that. That's an area where the market can come back in. But this type of pattern, if we continue it, we're gonna end up at 810. 810. They have an opportunity to support harmony zone number 1, and if we start making lower highs, we know that the market is going to start bleeding off. We got 4 minutes to the top of the hour. See that middle of the range right there? The price defends. So you have the ORB range and then the middle of that, and the market just spending goes to it and bounces, goes to the top of it and sells off. So there's a whole lot of rotations right here trying to trap people on both sides. The best thing for me to do in this environment is be patient. Be patient and wait. It's early on a Monday, and if the market is producing a lot of consolidated patterns, then we need to give it. Either I can scalp the ranges in the favor of the 200, which will be the long side, or look for run ups in the 90s against that ORB range and short. But we already have done that like multiple times with these rotations. So I don't want to go back up to that level and get short again, or think in terms of shorts. Six prong captain set up long. Just gonna go ahead and take it, and then put a stop right under that range and look for a push. But I would like to see a big push if I can, to 915 against that range. So I'm only risking, what is that, 6 into 8, 8 points for the potential of getting 915 and higher. And if we can get a switch trade, I'll add to it. I'm adding if I can. That's fine. Can we go to target number 2? Target number 2 would be excellent. I'm gonna take a little bit of profit to help out with the trade, and I'm gonna go break even, just in case they're gonna play games here. They are playing games. Okay, well that's $300, and off you go. Off you go, baby. Off you go. Okay, okay, okay. Good morning, Sheila. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I mean, that was. I mean, you get a captain setup, six prong captain setup anywhere. Jump in. I mean, that's just like a gimme. That's a trade that I would say 9 out of 10 it works in your direction. Six prong captain setup. Now the question is, I mean, could have we made? I mean, we had target number 2, and target number 2 actually hit, but we were running against Globex of 890, and if it's pausing there, it's not gonna take it long for it to kind of, pull back and pull back hard. So I gotta take my money and try again. Top of the ORB, and they're pulling it back in. So they're tagging the ORB, and they keep fading it. They keep fading it. I mean, ultimately, if they keep doing this, man, that just the weight of that structure is gonna collapse under the mid, and then sell this thing off. But that's if. I mean, the key is 72. You got to break 72. If you don't break 72, we're nothing to talk about. Okay. How's everybody doing, by the way? You guys are good? We're definitely getting a whole lot of noise, right? We're definitely getting a whole lot of noise, which is good. I mean, that produces a lot of traps for a lot of traders. When we figure out, or the range and how the traps are working, like, okay, so who got trapped up here? I mean, the longs got trapped against Globex and against the ORB range, and they've been doing that all morning long, non-stop. Look at that. Hit it, fail. Hit it, fail. Hit it one more time, fail. Lower high, fail. They hit the middle of the range, which is a bounce area, and boom, run it back up, fail, fail. A lot of distribution up there. A lot. I mean, if you flip this candle up 90, then you're producing a higher low in that rotation, and the ORB traders can start, making some money on the upside with a break above 900. The structure of the 200 and the 100 are long right now. So we're getting distribution up here, then accumulation as we get to the middle of the range. And as long as the market, like, okay, so where's the red line? 53. Why 53? Because 53 will produce a captain setup short on the 100 NT Renko. That means we produced a captain long, and the market ran up from 53 all the way up to Globex, rejected Globex, produced a captain setup short at 53. Then the market can start chewing through that range lower. all the way down to 814 and then a break. So producing a 53 close will set in motion that type of behavior. If we cannot do that and we make a higher low here, then it's going to be an expansion breakout to 915. So where we at and these two levels are going to be very critical to how the rest of the day is going to go. If we look at ES is hitting resistance, and you got 72.39 as an area. If we break at or below it, that will set the stage for a continuation short. You have resistance also between 76 and 86. So this is the first line of defense for the shorts. And if they produce a one candle reversal, then that's significant for ES. Right now, it's a bounce. Where it's going to stop, this is one potential of a stopping area. All right. $88 is significant. Here we go. We closed it. So back to that chart. Now that's a higher low. So that's a bullish behavior. And look what happened here. What happened? That's a trap and a quick one. And that's a captain setup on the 100. Okay. I'm short. All right, I covered one, and I'm gonna go to break even and wait for a push. And let me see if I can get a big trade if I can. Come on, baby. Captain set up short on the 100 NT Rinco. That is a big deal, and we just need to survive it. Survive this kind of noise. If we can break the 40. Even if they come back and hit me, that's fine. You know, I made a little bit of money off the initial trade. Okay, look at that. That's fine. That's okay. They can play that game. We made money off of this trade. This trade. So far the market is not rewarding holding on to positions. Has not. Okay? Because holding on to positions is required a break. And the market is just simply rotating back and forth, back and forth. Captain set up long on 70 NT Rinco. Now that's a significant one, right? Getting a captain set up, so now they're going to go back to that ORB level. I mean, here you could. Can I justify for myself that, hey, listen, go long here, selling the ORB top range against 100 NT Rinco captain set up short? I mean, we're already there anyway. It's like I don't necessarily want to do that. Like it's almost we're better off letting the market go break above 900 and get retraced for an entry. So this rotation is also very significant because you're running over the 100 NT Rinko. When was the last time we ever saw that? Here comes the sellers on that range. They're gonna try to they're gonna try to pull it back, and the quality of the pullback is gonna tell us a lot about what's gonna happen next. Richard, how we're doing today? Jack, Abe, any trades? Becca, you're just scalping evals. It's definitely noisy, right? All right, let's talk about the range expansion, opening range expansion as well. So we got a different opening ranges here as well. So like most traders will trade the opening ranges off of 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So we look at them a little bit differently than these opening ranges. These opening ranges are factoring in bigger time frames, like from seven from 7 to 8. That's the opening range, the white one, and then from 8 to 8:30. That's the opening range. So you're seeing the mids of both are right here, and that creates a band of prices that has high probability of reaction. So we're getting a pullback into it and a response, multiple responses against the mids of those opening ranges. And now we're starting to trade above. But if we look at this, we know that these prices up here, yeah, don't mind my drawing skills here. All right. Or the opening 15-minute opening ranges. That's what most retail traders trade. Well, guess what? If that information is known, the odds are institutions are trading against that type of trader. And here they've been very successful. Now they punch it back up and bring it back in. So that's kind of consistent with them trying to fail the upper ranges and then buy the bottom end of these ranges. So that's a sign of undecisive market that's trapping. But we know where that trap was. I mean, like literally it was up here. You cannot overstay your welcome. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Call that 9. 9 times that the market came to these levels and just reacted. Higher low. And we're trading around Globex. No need to even play that game. So we need to see 915, let the market break that, and if they do, then that would be a structure long. Right now the market is in sync on the long side, but hitting distribution area. Patience is a trade. We had 2 trades, both are profitable, and we're looking for the next one. Yeah, we're gonna see 915. Looks like that 70 NT Renko got rolled over. So this captain set up short here on the 20 NT Rinko. A break below 881 is would be significant. A bit of rejection here against Globex, and that captain setup 880 would be significant. That would produce a captain setup on the 70 NT Rinko short. A non-decisive consolidated market. We need to undertrade this market, lower our size, scalp more, and wait for breaking patterns. Trying to follow a trend in this is not necessarily the best strategy for a day that's behaving this way. The only valid play, let me see here, true breakout, break above 909.10. So what are we waiting on? Like if we're waiting, we need to be waiting for something, right? So waiting for a break above 910 or a break below 880. 880 would generate a sell signal. 810 will speed up the buying interest up here. Anything in between, and especially around Globex, you're gonna get a lot of choppy behavior. Looks like 880 is gonna come. Here we go. Oh, come on. They're gonna play that game. They're just gonna flush it, not necessarily give you an opportunity to get in. We'll see. But that's what we were talking about. That captain setup into this captain setup. So here comes that ORB traders getting smoked again. Not much love above the ranges. Is just a trap and pullback, trap and pullback. That's a failure pattern. And this type of failure pattern can get us to the middle of the range and can get us to the bottom end of the range at 800, as long as the 910 holds or 907 holds. I'm short right here, and I'm looking for a push lower to the 880s. And let me see if I can get a big target. I'm gonna. That's 2.7. That's 7.25. Okay, let's see if I can get. We took one off. We need to see a break here. That's a lot of noise, and we're around glowbacks. Here we go. So I'm expecting noise. I mean, there's definitely better spots to put on a trade, to be honest with you, but. And I'm gonna cover right here, and it's either gonna work in the next candle or it's not. We need a break under 83.80, and that will lend itself to a push, then 73, then 60s, and I'll go break even along the way. Here we go. Now here I can justify a break even. I mean, it's noisy, so they may come and get me, but whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're trading around Globex, and that's not a. We gotta leave that one alone. Just remember what that is. Where we at, right? Okay, this is a captain setup. This is the ORB top range. The market has been rejecting this area. They're rejecting this area as well. Now 72. So why 72? Because if we get to 72, that's a captain setup switch trade short, and that would be very significant for a push toward the mids and a break below to the low of that range. So if they do that, then there's a chance for that type of trade to work. If you start bleeding to 910, then they're gonna blow the top off of this captain and go higher. And the market right now is in sync on the long side. that's the move. Finally, it took them a while. That whole rotation down here was just about all they had left in them, and now they're just expanding. The bigger picture also, or your captain setup into blowing that one up and expansion higher. So what to do now is just pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis. We have a target of 940. Then we have harmony zone number one and two supporting price action higher. We're coming into the top end of the Globex band, which is an area that you should see a little bit of a pullback off of it. Plus, we're at target number three, and that's a target we're hitting. And typically, they'll come back down to target number two and try to find their footing for the next move. I mean, you don't have to be guessing, Joseph. Congratulations, by the way. You don't have to be guessing. You could go to the dashboard and uh, see, you know, that you checked all the boxes for a payout, and then you could send the payout and it should be accepted. Like, you shouldn't be guessing if you're going to be paid or not, because it's going to tell you if there's any rule violation that you need to work on. Congratulations, by the way. I know you worked very hard on that one. Yeah, but the loss limit of 1,000 is part of the deal here. Like, you could have those without ever jeopardizing a payout. So what are we getting here? Excuse me. Top end of the Globex band, and you see how the market is just reacting to that level. If you break 905, uh, that becomes a problem for the longs. structurally. As long as we do not break that, these pullbacks have a rotation higher with a target of 965. Speed, range, and behavior. Speed is slow here. Range is expanding. Behavior is long on pullbacks with bigger targets. You see that one, huh? I just stepped away for just a second, and that '05 was critical. That's a pattern of fading back into uh, the opening range. So the longs have to protect this level and trade above 920. They're trying, but that's a problem. See, that's a sellers enforced, and I bet you there's some news out there that the market is responding to. Hmm. Oh yeah, a full reversal here. That's a big deal. Now rallies are shortable on a swing trade basis with a target of 840. We're gonna get there in like 2 seconds. They're just so much responding to that middle of the range. I'm gonna show it to you. No trade transition lock. Reset. Structure zone 890. That's kind of wild for a continuation. I mean, you got multiple rotations. You hit the 64 market, just slightly goes down and blows all the shorts out. I mean, you still have that high of 42. So we're testing harmony zone number one resistance and harmony zone number two resistance. And we're coming up to that level. 90 break is important for the shorts. All right. So the longs are failing against that 900, and we have a rejection of harmony zone number two, and we're starting to make lower highs into a continuation trade, which will lead us to 66. If they stick this landing here and rotate back lower, here we go. We need to break that 880. I think breaking the 880 is going to generate momentum, if there's such a thing today. We're seeing traps and more traps. I mean, the question I have here, do we have a rejection? How does it look like? 880 would show, you know, intense rejection, or I would say that a convincing rejection. Because I mean, look where it's at. It's 880 on the 70 NT Winko. That puts a captain setup short, a high, and then a lower high, and that's a head and shoulder pattern for the people that would follow that one. And then 880 is a beginning of a break of the neck of that rotation all the way down to the 48. So if we can get that 80, then we have that potentiality of a break in the structure. Here we go. So that's good to see. Now let's start looking for rallies to find an entry. The next stage of that is hitting 70, which is target number 2. 70 or close to 70. Switch trade short right here. So that's gonna, we're looking for a push. Here comes that 70. And we have rotations that takes us all the way down to 50, which has been the mids of the ORB trade. And we break that, then there's a lot of room for downward potential. So the 50 is going to be critical. Rallies are shortable on a, we're about to be shortable on a swing trade basis under 65. Alrighty. Here comes the shenanigans. We need a break of 880. Okay, okay. We gotta be patient. Patient, man, patient. Yeah, that was good right there. We're probably gonna see a continuation into that 850. Patience. That was a good one, guys. That's really a good one. How's everybody doing? You guys are quiet today. Continuation trade into that 850 that we're talking about. Target number 3 is hit in this rotation. So we're back to that 50 we talked about. Okay, so that's a critical area. It's been a response area. It's been an area where the market buys. So if we're short, you cover a bunch of it here and hold on, break even, and hope that they break this level. There's a lot of stops sitting under this level into the 40s and 30s, and you're gonna get sped up price action, and that speed will it migrate us toward that 800. So we're starting to pick up those stops. Yeah. So a cover here will protect your money, and then you're breaking even, and you're hoping and seeing. You don't want to see 72. If we see 72, then pretty much we're gonna rally back up to that top end of that 90. So you don't want to see 72. I mean, I like it here. I mean, look at that double switch trade in this section. That's a sell signal right here. We have a target, guys. We have a target. Target is 815. Double switch trade. So the market is producing. I mean, it's starting to take a direction. If you ever see that one. So, where's Richard? Richard. Okay, so Richard, if you see a double switch trade like this, meaning you have an up candle, down candle, like the two candles before is down, one up and one down. That's a switch trade. You see two of them in a row. That is a very strong signal. If you see six prong captain setup like the one that we looked at earlier, and actually we went long on. I gotta go all the way back. Let's see here. Yeah, right here. That's a six prong captain setup. It's basically a minimum of two candle down, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 candles where they're rotating in the same spot, and then you get a break up. That will lend itself to an actual signal long in this direction. It happens short as well, and you got a move, and usually it's significant. So those two setups by themselves, pay attention to, and that will set you well. Okay. The vision is coming true here. That break of the ORB, and you are heading toward the bottom end of the ORB range. So going forward, we're going to be talking more about ORB, because ultimately a lot of traders, a lot of retail traders will use that setup. Holy crap. They're giving it up. Oh, they're giving it up, baby. They're giving it up. Let's go. The majority of traders are using ORB as a breakout trade, either upside or breakdown downside. But the reality of it is most of these setups will fail the majority of the time. So why look to trade it in the direction of the retail traders and just actually fade it on structure? And that's what we're looking at today. Well, I mean, the trade was the trade was the trade. If I'm not in it, I'm not going to chase it. But we're at target number 6 of this rotation, so that's extended. Richard, you have the candles, the Ninja Rinko candles. If you do, go back in the chart and look for every time the 6 prong captain setup happened and the double switch, and just mark them and see what happened to the market afterwards. Go as far as 30, 60 days and just notate every single signal that did exactly that, and you're gonna see a very high profitability rate to those two specific setups. So this way you can get confidence about, hey, I've seen it in the past. They talked about it in the room. This is what I should expect, and you build confidence that way. Steven. Man, I tried to call you yesterday and you were busy. So let's talk after the room closes here. All right, guys. So that's that. Let's take a look. Are you talking about 2010? So we have that opening range, and boom, we failed it, and man, that thing sped up like nobody's business. That would have been the trade of the month, really. And we got that huge rotation. Now it's when the market already make that big of a move, you're gonna get consolidation patterns. So I wouldn't be too excited about getting aggressive short here, just from the probability standpoint. You're still gonna get some sized up moves, but the big move has already happened. All right, that's good. Yeah, I ended up doing something fun on Sunday myself. I went to a Renaissance fair. You could, I posted something on it on Twitter. Did I dress up? I dressed up like a dragon. Well, that's me in the Renaissance fair. I don't want to distract from trading, but it's on Twitter. You know, they had the knife throwing thing. I never done it before, so this is my first attempt at it. The first three tries did not, I missed the heart, but the last two hit. 868. I tell you what, Marty, it may not be fun, but it's definitely peaceful. I'll take that. Here come the cleanup crew. That's the cleanup crew trying to rebalance. Jesus, look at that. And they flipped it too. Where did you get out at? You're holding on to bigger moves, which I like to see that. So that's you're acting like a swing trader when you trade like that, which is really good because you have to have that skill along with the scalping skill. And the best way to do that type of deal is just yeah, I mean, you're looking at big ideas. So what are the big ideas? The big ideas is what we were talking about. Is that structure? If we're failing the ORB high and there's no trend here, the odds are we're gonna break back down to the bottom end of it. But the market is spending so much time trapping and fading and trapping and fading and trying to get people to overcommit to that breakout and then see how fast the real move showed up. That's the real move in the market. That's the preparation that they've been doing all along here. Okay, so the ORB trade is an excellent trade to fade against. All the people out there are looking at it as like, oh, okay, you break above the 15-minute range and it's, you put a stop and it's just, they are just chewing through people like that. But the idea to fade it and know how to fade the retail idea of ORB, I think over time it's a more lucrative idea to begin with. What do you guys think? Be honest with you, you just, if you look at all the retail ideas out there, your best bet is to trade against them. Really. Any idea out there? Just trade the damn thing. You should do better. All right, guys. Continuation. I mean, that's a reversal right here. They had a harmony zone or zone number one, and that just simply did not hold into harmony zone number two. This is very persistent, consistent, and selling. Whenever you start seeing stuff like that, the market is out of sync. Uh, what we did also look at location. Location, I did not see that. Captain set up on the 50. Like, holy crap, that is a good one. Need to pay attention. because these are gold. Plus, you got a captain set up long here that failed. So you're getting double signals in the same exact location. And that is the bottom end of the opening range. Not the ORB. This is the Harmony opening range. So you're getting that test and a push. The market is, the 200 is still long, so you don't want to, the shorts cannot see 64. You don't want to see 64. That will line up the market on the upside if we see 64. You get in 64. So pullbacks now are buyable again toward our target of 815 and reevaluate that idea anything under 35, 735. Well, hot damn. They tagged it, could not hold on to it. There's money to be made now in this market. Captain set up long on the 100 NT Rinko, guys. Captain set up long on the 100 NT Rinko right here. So we want to see how well they hold on to that on pullbacks. We have, look at that captain setup long on the 50. So we had the captain setup short here. Now we have another captain setup long right here. Oh, baby. Wow. That's a failure. I wanted to give it a chance at 80 and then the pull back. At least get one candle confirmation in the direction of that move. And the market just collapsed that whole structure. All right, testing harmony zone number 2. So what's the big idea here? The big idea is 90. 90 will lead to a captain setup long on the 200 NT wrinkle, and that is powerful, right? We've seen this signal many times. Look at this one right here. That's a multi-hundred point move. So if we see one captain setup long right here at 90, there's a chance that we go all the way back up to Globex at 890. So that is a critical level for the longs to reclaim. And if they cannot, we're breaking lower to 690 and then take out the lows and continue to multiple targets that could be very lucrative on a swing trade basis. So this current candle is very critical to the narrative for the remainder of the day. I mean, do they fail? Sometimes they do, but we can tell once the market is, if it's too weak and it retraces to the middle of the range and it cannot hold it, then we know that this thing needs a little bit more time. So get to that 91, pull back. We'll see if we can get into a trade long. Continue to show weakness here against harmony zone number 1 and 2. Trade under 30. Then the market is going to be lined up on the short side, and we can take that signal. Those are the levels that I'm going to be looking at. All right, Becca, good job. We're proud of you. Keep up the good work. All right, continuation. It's happening. Next target is the 690. All right, so what is this market doing here? I mean, we have the resistance against harmony zone number two. The market is inching toward it and challenging that narrative. Um, you want. We talked about the 90. 90 will produce a captain setup long. Rejection here and trading under 30 is significant. Will produce a sell signal. So the 90 will structurally change the market. Breaking down to 30 will break the market. Like what is the market doing here? So if you take a bigger look, we talked about the ORB fade into the lows. We have happen to have it. Then the market just literally chopped up. So they're digesting that move and building a bunch of stops to see where it's gonna go next. We talked about the 90 being significant and the 30 being significant. Anything in the middle will just get you chopped up. You could scalp it, but structurally that is not. Um, that's a kind of box of trading that you want to trade less of because it's non-directional. But here, okay, break 40, you're gonna break 30. That would be helpful. All right, that's the top of the hour trading, and we're starting to see. All right, so the market is in sync on the short side, and we have a target of 690. 690 is where we are kind of planning to head to. Look at that. Look at that. Good for them. All right, guys, it's 11 o'clock, so that's kind of it for me for the day. It was a good day. I mean, we had three trades. Three of them made money. I have no complaints. And we will do this again tomorrow. Hopefully, everybody done well. How was everybody doing so far? Steven, Sheila. Let's take a look at ES before we leave. ES structurally, I mean, reverse it to 72.51 and a quarter. We push toward the bottom end of that range, and we have a target of 72.01 and a quarter. Area of concern is anything over 72.39. David, how did David do? All right. Good job, everybody. Good work. We'll do it again.